Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This is another episode of our podcast, Echoes of Redemption. I'm your host, Sebastian, and I'm so glad that you are here. We're going to have a really cool opportunity to unpack the conversation about a ministry that has been happening at our church that has been really impactful for our community. It's called Laundry Love. We're going to talk a little bit of the heart behind it, and we're going to have some special guests joining us for today. With that being said, let's dive in. Well, hello, Katie. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Sebastian.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join in the episode today.
I'm happy to be here.
This is going to be a fun one. I know that our church knows me by now, hopefully, but, and probably knows you, but this is a beautiful time for us to kind of spend some time also allowing them to know us a little bit more.
Sure.
Because Sunday mornings are busy and we're running around. And so, but before we do that, how are you guys doing today?
Katie and I were just comparing notes on the day because our kids were off of school for President's Day. So.
Oh, that's right. That was today.
That was today.
Okay.
So they were all home, and I think we're feeling that.
Yeah.
Yes.
The sun was shining, though.
I know.
And that was a grace.
And it's so warm out today.
Yeah.
So.
But definitely entering in a little frazzled.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's beautiful, though? Even in those moments, right, the Lord is using that.
For sure.
For his glory and our good, making us more like Jesus in mysterious ways, even when we feel like we go but why does it have to be this way?
Right. It's so true. It's
then
so
you
true.
go, but he knows what he's doing. And I know that for those who love him, everything will work out.
Yeah. And I think we can all relate to coming into things frazzled, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of the day not going how we planned.
Yeah.
Or conversations.
Yeah.
But we
That's
show
right.
up.
That's right. And this is just life. You know what I mean? We're not trying to pretend that everything's perfect. I feel like,
for sure.
No.
Katie and I cry far too easily for anything like that.
I honestly almost canceled before this. I mean, I make a habit of not being in front of other people. And so not my favorite thing right now.
Yeah.
And was crying on the way here. So, but,
Yeah.
You're right. This is where,
this
is a good thing.
It's a beautiful thing that,
sure.
Even that we get an opportunity to even take these moments to even reflect, right, on what is the Lord doing. And then not only that, as we will dive into later about the conversation of Laundry Love, right? How the Lord even is using us in spite of us
all
and
of
our
this.
life and right to even bless other people
For
that
sure.
we come to know and so we go, okay, so if anything, this will be even an opportunity for us to go, man, Lord, you're so good.
For sure.
And we trust you. And so,
absolutely.
I feel that too. Life can be chaotic. I mean, even Married at the Night, this morning, with the whole rounds to seeing doctors and all that this morning. And we're life is happening and what is going on? But and so I'm thankful that you guys are here. I really mean it.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, I do want to hear a little bit. I've heard of your story a little bit.
Sure.
But I haven't heard. I have heard yours.
Men's and women's ministry track.
Amen.
I had to do it there.
That's right. And so, but I think for our listeners, especially for those who are who are these people?
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
I think it would be a nice opportunity to kind of go, hey, well, this is who I am. And so, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of your life with us and a little bit of your story, that would be awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
You may go first.
Okay. So I'm Jamie Bartlett. Have the joy of serving alongside Mike here at Redemption City. We have been married. We just celebrated 21 years a couple days ago. So whoop, whoop.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's
incredible.
fun. Yes. We have grown a lot together over that time and really, I think, recognize the beauty in us being so different. We have challenged each other in different ways and grown each other in different ways. And so I look more like Mike than I did, and he looks more like me. And then we have found that to be a really beautiful thing.
I can testify to that side of Mike.
When I hear Jamie come out of Mike's mouth, I'm like, right there, marriage.
I know,
That's
right?
great.
It's so true. And when I say anything practically minded or, grounded, it's like, that's Mike coming through. And so, yes.
Awesome.
So that has been really sweet to just be in relationship for that long and just, walk alongside of each other in all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Through the very high highs and low lows, and even through Mike wearing very short shorts, right?
Sorry, David, that laugh may have been a bit loud. Yes. Yes. He thankfully does not wear them anymore. Middle age has done its work, but
the influence of a wife.
Sorry, Mike. If you're watching
Sorry,
this.
Mike, but that's the origin story, right?
Yep. I still, every time I go back and listen to that episode, I go like, that's so good.
Yes, yeah. Those classic runner shorts are way shorter than they need to be. Yep. Yeah. And he loved them for a long time. Now has updated his wardrobe, which I'm thankful for. Yes.
I love it.
But awesome. That's us. Yeah. So do ministry a lot together and serve and support each other, and it's been really great.
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, Mike and I also have fashion statements because we met in 3rd grade. So he was wearing tearaway pants, and I had overalls on. With Winnie the Pooh on, I think, which is a little old for 3rd grade. But yeah, we met at a spelling bee in 3rd grade.
Wow.
At the same elementary school our children are going to.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So yeah,
it's like a full circle.
A lot
moment,
of history there.
Right?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So Mike has definitely been an evidence of grace through the whole story that God has woven. Yeah, I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't come to know the Lord until college, but knew Mike through all of that. And the Lord allowed our friendship to grow and then to sanctify our relationship and us to be in community at Michigan State. Went to a Big Ten party school to escape everything that was happening at Rockford. And God said, no, I have plans for you here. And the very first day, my roommate saw the chalk on the sidewalk that was like, come to Real Life, which is their weekly worship night. And she was like, I want to do that. I was like, well, you're the only person I know here. So
I will go where you go.
So yeah, that first semester God totally used to reveal himself to me, to heal a lot of pain. Yeah, Mike and I had walked through a summer right before going to college of 4 friends passing away in really tragic ways, and having not known God and then walking through pain. It took a lot of, who are you? What are you doing? Who am I in light of that? And it was hard, and it still is. Actually, on the way here, I was listening to sing hymnal thing that CC Bad actually recommended, and it was about lament. And they said lament is prayer in pain that leads to trust. And I feel like that is
right.
my story.
That's right.
Yeah. Even very recently, like working through a lot of pain and learning to pray in that and to say, God, I don't know what you're doing, and I don't like what you're doing.
Right.
But I am going to learn to trust you, and it is a daily walk. And I think it will be my thorn forever to trust in his goodness, what he says is true. And I've got so many stones of remembrance that it is true and that I can hope in him and I can trust in him. But the heart keeps coming.
Yeah. But I think even what you shared, right? Like, I think like how gracious God even is, even when we go through those dark seasons and those valleys, that you go like, he gives us license and language and examples of what it looks like to complain, even right? Like to go and like we turn to God and we name our complaint, like, Lord, this sucks, and what is going on, and yet there's this opportunity to realign our hearts to what is true, and to trust him in that. And so I went to I spoke at Cornerstone this past Monday, and it was sweet. Like I'm like, it feels like a whole cycle here, because I was just sitting right there. And now I'm speaking to a bunch of students, and it's super cool. But I share part of my story, and it was very much that, like sometimes we find ourselves in these dark places, and we go like, what is going on? And I always use this like way of seeing it is like if God wanted me to see the stars, like he wouldn't take me where the city is and distractions and noise and light, but he would take me to the dark places, so that everywhere I look is like, what is going on? Like I see you, like I'm knowing you for who you are without distractions. And that's hard. Like it hurts, to do that, and it's a scary thing to dive into that because you think of like if if I go into that fully, it's gonna hurt a lot more even.
Yeah.
And so like there's this fight where you go like,
Mhm.
Lord, I know that you're doing this, but this hurts, and we try to pull back. Yeah. So
That's true.
it's life.
Yeah.
It is life.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we all get to experience that brokenness in different ways.
Yeah.
And so yeah. How long have you been married to Mike now?
We will be 12 years this September.
Wow.
And we were going to Riverview Church, and we were at East Lansing, and it was Noel that told us about Redemption City because they're both X29 churches.
That's right.
So when we graduated in May, we came that next Sunday to Redemption City, and we were engaged for that summer until we got married. And we've been here for, over 11 years.
So you guys have
Noel
been.
was just here too for Mike's
He
ordination.
was,
Yeah.
which that was the first time I got to meet him.
Mhm.
Like
He's a
I've
great
heard
man.
his name
Oh,
a
yeah.
ton,
Yeah. Yeah.
but never met him.
Yeah.
And then I met him
Mhm.
when he was here, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. We've been so blessed by getting to grow up in this church. It feels like to go from engaged to married to 3 children and the
3 kids.
community and
Yeah,
the love.
that's right. Yeah, man. Well, this church loves you guys. I mean,
It's
the
very
ministry
true.
that you guys do, it's you guys are like literally a power couple here in ministry. Like you, in the many ways that you serve our church, even in the places where you're not like up front,
No,
right?
thank you.
Like I right. Like I think like for other people, like we're pretty much like the front face and like people see, and so like, but when you do the amount of work that you do, or the capacity that you do, when nobody's watching and nobody's even aware,
Mhm.
I go like, man, I want to honor you.
Mhm.
I want to honor
Thank
you.
you.
That's so true.
Yes, and so and Mike as well. Like,
Mhm.
man, it's crazy how Mike has been one of our elders. In case you guys didn't know, but he's kind of like acting like our executive pastor too. It's
Mhm. And he
incredible
loves
just to
it.
see like
Mhm. He's got
he's
good
gifted.
insights.
He is.
Like when we meet, and I go,
I am
Mike, I
thankful
don't.
for that man.
My
Oh my
brain
goodness.
does not
Yes.
operate how yours. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
It's where you see like the gift of being a
Mm.
body, right? Of
Right.
everybody contributing to what
Mhm.
what they have.
right.
And then it all works together and it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see.
No, he
Right.
is my favorite person in the whole world.
Yes.
And the more I get to see him living in light of the gifts that God's given him and use those and flourish under them and bless others by them, like, you go, babe. Like,
Mhm.
it's
Right.
just fun.
Mhm.
It'll probably be confusing as we both talk about our mics, but there's MB1 and
I love it.
MB2.
Right.
Because they're
I
both
love it. Yep.
They're both MPs,
MB.
right?
So
That's right.
That's true.
it
That's
gets
right.
confusing in the church communication world, but
Yeah. I'm pretty used to it by now. I'm like, I know. Yep.
Which one?
Yeah. So 3 kids, 12 years of marriage. How many now?
Yeah, it's a little hard for us to like gauge.
Yeah.
Because as foster parents we have kids
That's
in
right.
and out
Yeah.
and all the things. So currently in our house we have our 4 boys and 3 girls.
Yeah.
So and then we have
Yeah.
one daughter through adoption. She lives in Maryland, got
Mhm.
married last summer.
Oh, I didn't
So,
know that. Oh,
mhm.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, good
so
for
her
her.
husband's wonderful and
Mhm.
they're doing great. So
I'm so glad.
mhm.
So glad. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful to see, like how beautiful marriage can be, despite of the difficulties that
Mhm.
come our way. Like we talk this life, and the Lord works through that and is making us more like Jesus.
Mhm.
And then you go, wait, but how is he doing that? By using Mike? Oh. And then Mike might say, wait, but
Mhm.
oh, I can connect with people a little more. That's great. And so it's
We learn
beautiful.
from each other,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
Mhm.
like for Meredith and I is like our dynamic is very much like I feel like the things that have been more impacted uh for us has been like my pace of life. I'm used to like
Mm.
driver, go, gotta do it. I'm gonna go do it. And then if I don't do it, I get like restless and I'm like just a bomb waiting to explode. And Meredith is the opposite. And so we've been like learning in this 7 years of marriage now
Mm.
what that looks like to go, okay, I can breathe and be.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to do that. And then for her, it's more like, oh, it's time to go. We gotta do it. Like we gotta do it. And so it's been like that dynamic to the point where you go, man, it like I think marriage would be a little boring if I marry the person like somebody exactly like me. I think
Mhm.
every single day I would just be like, but I gotta outdo you now. And like, yeah, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy how that works, because in the times of when we're like frustrated, we probably go like, if you could only do it the way that I want you to and how I see it. And then I take a step back and I go like, I'm so glad that's not the case. This would be miserable.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's beautiful. And now you guys are here at Redemption City, and you both serve the church. In which capacities, can I ask?
I am the church secretary,
That's right.
and I help with laundry love.
Mm-hmm.
She helps a lot with laundry love.
A lot.
A lot. Yes, and I think I don't know. I'm like, what is my title? I think I am deacon over city ministries.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so kind of help think through how our church engages with our neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jamie's the dreamer. Jamie goes, what if we did this? And what if we partnered with this organization that's already doing amazing things? And how can our church come around that?
Yeah.
And then I just get to help.
I
like,
stop
make
there.
it happen.
That's usually as far as I get. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's great
It
to
is.
have people at
Mhm.
gifted in different ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I think like if we didn't have people like you who see big picture and vision, right? Like we could have all the energy that we want and strategies, but we're like, but where are we going?
Yeah.
Like what's happening? And to the opposite of that, like have the vision and like, but I see it, guys. And you're like, well, how do we get there?
well, I have no idea.
Right. Like let's start doing. And so
Yeah.
it's beautiful to see like, yeah, how like the Lord knew, right? Like the church is flourishes when all hands are playing the part that they were designed to play.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think of like even my body, like if I didn't have my elbow, like life would be rough, right?
Right.
We need elbows. And you don't think about that, but until something's like not working properly, you go, wait, like, oh, this is why that's there.
Mhm.
Right. And so yeah. And so you mentioned laundry love. I wanna begin the conversation with that, because I feel like maybe hopefully by now a lot of people at our church have heard that that's a ministry that we have going on, but maybe there's a few people that don't know what the ministry's about, and like what are we doing there? Like why are there some like washing machines in our kids' space in the basement, and laundry soap, and like what is going on in this church, right? What's laundry love?
Yeah, I first heard about it even before we had this church building.
Mhm.
So Laundry Love is a national organization. So there's different Laundry Love locations all over the country. And usually how it operates is a church or a group of people will partner with a local laundromat and host once a month, like free laundry night. And so that's typically how it has worked. When I started thinking about how to maybe merge, once I knew we were getting this building and there's not a good laundromat like nearby, I reached out to a few and it just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I connected with the leaders of Laundry Love and said, hey, I've got this idea. Like, could it work if we just put washing machines in our space and opened it up that way? And they were very helpful in just guiding me through thinking about what that could look like, what the challenges are, what the opportunities are, and really said their main goal is just relational connection. And so their feedback was if there's a way to still keep it very relationally oriented, that they are on board with it. And so in all of that, we were able to kind of just use their wisdom, and they've done this for a long time. And then officially just kind of launched the idea of having that here. And so I connected with a few nonprofits to just say, would this be helpful? Are we thinking through this correctly? And definitely got great feedback of, no, this is a huge need in our community, and not everybody's able to afford the cost that it is to go to the laundromat. And so,
Right. And so are we like, we're not the only church
We are the only church that has it through Laundry Love.
Correct. Yeah.
Through Laundry Love. There may be other churches that I'm not aware of that have a similar ministry. They maybe just are not connected with Laundry Love.
Wow.
But within the Laundry Love community, I think we're the only church that has it in our space. Most other churches kind of, like I said, partner with local laundromats, but
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So for this ministry, like, who gets to come? Is it like open for everyone?
It is.
Pretty much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when when I ran the idea first by Mike, who hears a lot of my ideas and gets, first dibs on if it's a good one or not.
The first filter.
Yeah. He's step one. Step one passed.
Mhm.
And so he's like, yes, I think this is worth exploring and sharing. And so once it passed through, which is helpful for me as an ideas person, because not all of my ideas are going to be helpful. And so once the church got behind it and we raised the funds for it and put in the units, it really was me just trying a few different things to see how it was going to work. Like I like to then have almost like a formation time where I'm just kind of trying a few different things until I can figure out how to use it well.
Right.
And so we tried a few different options, like having it open one day a week at a certain time. Just tried a few different things to see what was going to be the best. And it landed at actually just coordinating with families individually on when works for them to come. It's
so
tricky.
It still keeps it very personalized, right?
Yeah.
Like accommodate to their schedule and their needs.
Yeah, and volunteers. And so anybody is able to use it. We do typically have a lot of families in crisis, so living out of hotels or in shelters, homeless, are experiencing that or living out of their car. And so a lot of those situations, I would say, are the majority of people who come. Or ones that are living in apartments that just don't have washing machines in their units too.
Yeah. And I know Jamie talked with Mel Trotter and Village 99 and then other organizations have reached out since and said, I've heard about this. How do I tell my clients about it? And so now the process is they find the link on our website and they just fill out like a little form that's their name, how many loads they think they're going to do. And then there's a memo spot. And some people leave it blank and some people share their story. And I'm the one that gets those emails and it's so humbling to read. And then I reach out to my volunteers and I have 10 now who come every day of the week, some in the morning, some in the afternoon. It's a beautiful mix of moms who bring their kids with them and a lot of the neighbors are coming with many small children or their whole family comes. And so as all these little kids are running around, it just breaks down barriers. And my volunteer will make a cup of coffee for the mom and just say, you sit. And then they usually play with the kids. I've got college students that come during their off hours. I have men and women who are working who come to the building and work from here and open it up to neighbors who come after work and make dinner and have a meal with the neighbors. It is an incredible group of people who are helping. And so I just get the email and reach out and let people know, hey, I've got you on at 5:30 on Thursday. Come meet Ellie.
And I would say it really did go to the next level once Katie got involved. I'm not great on coordinating schedules and all of that. And so it stalled. It really did from my capacity and what I was able to effectively manage. And when Katie came on, it made such a huge difference. Right. It's where you see the gifting of wow, Katie, you're able to do way more with this than I ever could. And it's been so beautiful just to see it all grow and expand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think I love seeing the washers and dryers down in the basement and then a bunch of toys around and just very organic, very much hey, come and find a place where you can breathe and sit down and have some coffee, do your laundry, have your kids play.
Yeah, I love that we're in a church and not a laundromat. I see how that works, but it's so nice to say We have a freezer full of meals because our church is so behind this
Mm.
ministry that they have stocked a freezer. We have a pantry full of snacks.
Mm.
We've got coffee with really good creamer because I can't drink black coffee, and so there needs to be creamer in the fridge. And then 2
Yeah.
classrooms, and a lot of these families are in
Mm.
crisis. And one family that came, and the mom just looked so worn down, and she
Mhm.
had her 3 kids with her, and they were a handful. And just to be able to say, like, these are not the first rambunctious children this church has seen.
Mm.
They are free to play.
Yes.
Anything they want to play with, have at it. And just to know that, like, that's how our church operates, that we are open doors.
Yeah.
Come as you are. And got to sit down with her, and she shared about her kids, and sent up a prayer, like, thank you, Lord, for the timing of it, because I got to lament and how difficult it is to have neurodiverse children, and what it is to find therapists and figure out meds,
Yeah.
and to cry with her when it's very,
Right.
very hard,
Right.
and to laugh at the things that others just don't understand unless you're living it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the beauty of, like, the connection that we get to form with these neighbors and see them the way God sees them.
And that's beautiful. I
Mhm.
think that sentence that you said, like, see them as God sees them. I think there's a lot to unpack there, because then you begin to think, like, wow, like, well, how does he see us, like, as image bearers? Like we're made in his image. And so I think in that, um why is it important to remember, that there are image bearers, that when we open our doors, we're seeing even past their stories and circumstances. We're seeing them as God created them, right? So why is that important? I want to pitch that question to you guys.
Yeah, I think as people that are on the we're welcoming people in.
Mhm.
I think recognizing that people are coming in with equal dignity, equal value, equal worth in the eyes of God, it keeps us as a church from pride and from judgment, and keeps us in a position of humility and of compassion, of like,
Mhm.
hey, even as Katie was just saying, we're on the journey, and
That's right.
your life experiences might look different than ours, and
Mhm.
ours look different from yours, but really we're all navigating hard things. It just looks different. And to be able to just sit with people as they're processing their stories, I think it's just a reminder
Right.
of there's no tiers. There's
Mm.
no
Yeah.
like one people group is more important than another.
That's right.
It's all equal
Yeah.
Mhm.
before God.
Mhm.
And while we can celebrate each other's differences and
Mhm.
culture or background, that doesn't make it one better than the other.
Right.
And I think it has continually uh, helped me remember what are the most important things.
Mm.
And it's relationship. It's, like Katie said, breaking down barriers and
Right.
welcoming people in. And
Mhm.
what would you say, Katie?
I think just getting to be one human with another. Like, we all have dirty laundry,
Right.
Mhm.
and that is nothing
Yeah.
to be ashamed about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so many come in, and you can see them carrying that shame,
Mhm.
and that when they do share what's going on in their life, apologizing for it, like, I wish I didn't need this, and just getting to love them, and getting to, I see you, I hear you, you have value, God
Mhm.
sees you and hear
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Jesus wept with those who are weeping and rejoiced with those that were rejoicing. And we have a lot of families that come repeatedly. And so
Mhm.
we have gotten to form relationships with them. And so I get to hear from my volunteers, or I get to experience when, we're watching the kids and they're on the phone and they just secured a job, or
Oh.
they just got the keys to the new apartment, and they're so hopeful for what this new opportunity is going to bring. And but then there's times when we're weeping with them because they've lost a loved one, or everything is falling apart in front of them.
Right.
And the opportunity we get to ask if it's okay if we pray with them, and just in humility, love them right where they're at, because that is what Jesus did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I think, like, even for me, like you mentioned, we all have dirty laundry. And one of the things that I um worry, like, when people come over our home, is like, I don't want anybody to see, like, my dirty
Mhm.
laundry. Like
The
'cause
piled up
the
hamper that we
pile
all
of-
have in the back.
especially like I think of like things like, you know, maybe it's just me, but like my socks and underwear. I don't want
Mhm.
people to see it. And
Yeah.
it's like it just opens you up, right? Like you become
Mhm.
so vulnerable, and to think that that's what they come here to
Yeah.
do, right? So even how we show up, our presence
Mhm.
there matters, right? Because they're like, life is hard as it is, and they're opening up, becoming
Mhm.
vulnerable, letting you see, not
Mhm.
like there's nothing
All there.
hidden,
Mhm.
right? And so you think like, yeah, how do I see them as Jesus sees them? How do I meet them there?
Mhm.
How Jesus has met me with my dirty laundry,
Mhm.
right? And to bring that comfort, I think of the words of Paul when he says like, for God is the God of all comfort. And we experience that, and then we comfort each other with that. And you go like, man, laundry love, it's more than just, it seems to me like it's more than just coming to do laundry,
Agreed. Yeah.
right? And so then you go, okay, so then this is something important. This is something that we want to um, have as many people as possible. And so then I go, how can we do that? What do we need to make that happen? Because I think it's beautiful. You guys are in it. You see the challenges.
Mhm.
What are those challenges?
Mm.
There are definitely challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. As with anything good, you
Mhm.
know, anything of like where you're like, that's worth it. There's always
Mm-hmm.
some things, you know, to just be mindful of.
Mm-hmm.
One comes to mind. I mean, Katie, I'm sure you might have other insights, but families in crisis have things change quickly. And so they might have a time where they're scheduled to come and then for a variety of reasons aren't able to get here. They sometimes rely on other people for transportation or, you know, when you're in crisis, everything seems overwhelming. So
Mhm.
even if it's a small barrier to coming, if like the weather or, you know,
Yeah.
but it's one thing too many on a day that's already really hard. And so I think that's challenging. And so I think trying to help our volunteers, and Katie does a beautiful job with this, of we have to have open hands and not get resentful
Right.
when it's like, this is, which we want to honor the time of our volunteers too, while also bring a book in case they don't come,
Yeah.
and just trying to normalize that as much as we can, because it's hard to have a high demand on somebody
Mm-hmm.
to make it to something when they're just not able to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that comes to mind. What
Mhm.
about for you, Katie?
Yeah. I think that does feel hard as I create a team of volunteers to know that they are sacrificing their time after either a full day of work or in the midst of their workday or with their children before nap time. And it's usually they're saying, I have from this time to this time. And I just so desperately want to honor that. But yeah, a lot of these neighbors don't have rides, or their rides don't show, or their car breaks down. Like it's in the moment. And some let us know and others don't. Sometimes their phone, they lose.
It's not always working.
Yeah, their phone
That's
doesn't
right.
work
Yeah.
anymore. And
Yeah.
so grace has to abound. Because they're in crisis. But it can be hard to keep a soft heart sometimes. And so I'm so thankful for the team of volunteers that I do have, because they're always so gracious to say, they haven't come yet, but I'm happy to hang out for a bit. And
Yeah.
or they're like, they brought a lot of bags. And,
That's another challenge. Yes.
and that is something we're
Why
still
we want to expand,
Yeah.
and have a few more machines, because as much as we try to know ahead of time how much laundry
It's
someone
really
is
hard.
bringing,
It's really hard to know.
and they don't know the size of the machines,
Right.
So
and
my 4 loads is
is-
very different to their 4 loads.
yes, and so even
Yeah.
just trying to accommodate as much as we can.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And when they come with a lot of bags and they're letting us know that, CPS is coming to do a visit and they can't have all these bags around, and can they please do one more load? And and so we do what we can,
Yeah.
and we try to meet them in it. And also trying to remind my volunteers it's okay to say, like, I really have to leave by this time. And we need to do
Grace and boundaries.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Right,
boundaries.
right,
We're all learning
right.
that.
Yes.
But I think that is one, the transportation, they're residential machines. And
Yes.
so they have seen a lot of hundreds of loads at this point.
More use than residential
yes.
machines are.
And so sometimes they're finicky, and sometimes I get a call during a shift that, like, there's water on the floor and I'm just wondering what to do next. Or
And we're like,
the bubbles didn't go away and there's just bubbles coming out of it.
That has happened.
Oh, yeah. The buttons don't work anymore. Thankful to Josh Bashan, who is becoming
Very
our
handy,
resident washer and dryer technician.
Thank you, Josh.
He's done so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, yeah, when we think about the possibility of what it could look like to expand the dream of industrial washers, where we can say yes to people bringing their bedding, or yes, you have 16 loads. You know what? We have 8 machines now, and they're huge. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because we do have a budget for Laundry Love, I've been able to give out laundromat gift cards. It's like, I can't
that's
facilitate you coming with that much or with that kind of load, or I don't have a volunteer and you just shared your story about your son being in the hospital with leukemia, and here is what we can do. And so I'm so thankful for a budget so that I can give out gift cards. I'm so thankful for a church family that when I say we're out of supplies, I get inundated with Amazon boxes to the point where I'm like filling
Praise
our
Jesus.
creepy closet in the corner because got so much laundry detergent now. Thank you. And stocking the freezer. It's just
right. And I think even to your question, Sebastian, of like, how do we get more people involved? I think it's already happening. It's like we have, a volunteer crew of 10, but we also have people that are like, I'm not able to do this, or maybe not comfortable, or, everyone's going to approach this ministry differently, and that's okay. But they want to supply laundry detergent when it's needed, and perfect, because
so helpful.
we need that.
Yes.
It's like whatever anybody is comfortable contributing, we will put it to use in different ways. And I think Katie's done an excellent job of coordinating all of that and just giving people many opportunities to get involved in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been beautiful to see how many hands are involved in that ministry. And yeah, for me, sometimes when I come into my office or I'm like around the church and all that, and out of nowhere, just hear people coming in and I'm like, what's happening? And it's just our volunteers setting up for whoever's going to come and take care of laundry, or like they're eagerly waiting at the door. Like, I'm just waiting for them to get here and park so that I can come, get their bags, help them bring, and I go like that.
Yeah. It is amazing.
It's amazing.
The team is wonderful. And yeah, from what Jamie grew it to kind of passing on the baton and not really having any volunteers when I first started with it. And
sorry, Katie.
No, it's fine.
I can do ideas. We have said this.
But people stepped up. They answered the call, and my circumstances changed, and I am not in a season where I can be here as much. And so I've just been so thankful for my volunteers they can, and we're not around the clock yet, but there's like still some slots. So if anyone would still like to volunteer, and it's fun to explain it. It's fun to let people know what it entails. That you're a lot of it is just holding space, because you're able to kind of read people as they come in, and the walls are up and they're very closed off, and sometimes even a bit abrasive. They're in crisis and they're working through a lot, and so being able to help them get set up, offer them anything, and then just sit back with a book and hold space. And some come in ready to talk and share their story, and it's a beautiful 2 hours of just chatting. But watching the ones warm up, that like come in really quiet and really closed off, and then eventually start sharing, like that is so fun.
Yeah. I mean, I just think of like the dignity that comes from even having a person say hi. Like we take that for granted, but like I think of the people who don't have that. Maybe they're homeless and like they get ignored every time they look at people because no one wants to engage or whatnot, and to have just that space to kind of in a way like be shielded from all the brokenness of the world, right? And to go and say like, come as you are, just be like. Your laundry will be washed. You'll have the dignity of wearing clean clothes and shirts and pants.
Like, isn't that what the church should be?
Yes. Yes.
And to what we were talking about earlier, we've had a lot of people comment on like, it's so nice that we're the only family here.
Mm.
In the laundromat, you kind of have to guard your stuff because, you
You never
don't know
know.
who's around,
That's
or
right.
like really guard your kids. And
Mhm.
so I think to what Katie was saying earlier, they are able to come in and just kind of breathe for a minute and be
Yeah.
like, okay, we're the only ones here besides church staff that are around. And
Mhm.
so we can,
Yeah.
I
I think in my ignorance a while back, when I did like I was surprised to see so many families with so many bags of clothing and
did you
everything.
see
And
the
I go
pickup truck that pulled up?
like how does that happen? How do you have so I don't even have that, but not thinking with clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember, I think you shared with me, well, yeah, it's easier for people to go, oh, well, let me just buy you a new pack of shirts. Let me just give you more socks. Let me just give you more pants. But then when they don't have anywhere to wash them, they just,
It piles up.
it's
Yeah.
hard, right? And so I go, man, um, as small as like, because it's only taking a little corner of our basement, right? Like
For now.
For now.
For
Jamie
now.
and I have dreams.
But I go like, even if it seems like, oh, it's small and like,
Mm-hmm.
it has a like a huge impact in our community. Say, here's a place where you can come and
Mm-hmm.
restore your personhood in a way.
Yeah. And that was the feedback I got early on from the Mel Trotter team
Mm.
of like, this is so unique because it's helping people take care of what they already have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not, the answer is not always you need more.
Right.
It's just you need a way to take care of what you have.
Yeah.
And this is a way that people can do that,
Yeah.
which is really cool when
Yeah.
you think about restoration and, just even some of the, biblical lens of
Right.
seeing it. Yeah. But to your point of like, you were in a place of ignorance. Well, we all are.
Yeah.
And proximity changes
A-
us.
Amen.
And so
Amen.
that's really one of the values too, is that people in our church, even if they're not volunteering, they're hearing stories and they're just being changed by the proximity to other
That's right.
people.
Yeah.
So,
I love bringing my kids and the conversations that it brings up. Because, don't see a lot of this on our streets in Rockford.
Right.
And so the conversations on the way there about how we can be a good neighbor and how we can love them well. And then the conversations on the way home of what they saw and answering questions and just helping them see all of God's people.
And probably they're not like easy questions
No.
sometimes. Like
they're 4,
they
6,
will
and
be
8.
honest.
They are very blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go like, all right,
And
how do
I'm
I
thankful for it.
how do I not shy away from the hardness
Yeah.
of it and like difficulty of addressing this, but go, yeah, this is why like the Bible gives us a lot of wisdom in that, and how do we approach situations like this, and why, right? Like, why don't we shy away?
Yeah.
Why can't we turn our backs and say, well,
someone else's problem.
someone,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's
And at the
incredible.
ages that they are, I mean, they are entirely egocentric, and that is developmentally appropriate for them, but it is not the way I want them to grow up.
Yeah.
And so to get them to see past themselves, and when we are here there was one time we were here for 6 hours. When we are here for
Oof.
that long,
A little
and
much.
they are struggling to think, you know what, this is what service looks like sometimes, and we have been served by the Lord, and we get to pour that back out on these families, and you will go home.
Yeah.
To a home,
Yeah.
to a bed,
Right.
and having those hard conversations too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard, but
Mhm.
but what an incredible opportunity to even use that and go like, this is why we're like part of God's people. Like, all the work that God is doing is not just about like the self, like me, and like he's redeeming a people for himself. Like he's dealing with the brokenness of the world, and he's using people, his people, as agents of his kingdom to bring restoration and all of that. So you go, yes, like this is hard and it's difficult, and yet this is what we're about. You know, as gospel believing people. This is how the Lord sees us and uses us, and we want the same for them. And so we're going to show up.
Yeah, I think it's been sweet over the last year or so that a few families have gotten involved in the life of the church, and that's never an expectation.
That's right.
We don't ever say this is or transactional. We give this to you so you
as
can.
long as you do, yeah.
Yes, there's never any of that. And so it's been really sweet to see a few families become well loved and well known within our church,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the gift that is to all of
Absolutely.
us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So very
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Yeah. Speaks honestly, of the power of the gospel. Like what the Lord is doing here, we get to witness it. We get to be a part of it. And I go, man, every time I hear another story of how like our church is stepping into need, or another story of how a family has come to our church, or another story, I go, I am not crazy. I'm always gonna say like I am not crazy to believe the gospel. It's like really like unveiling before my eyes, and I see it at play, and I go like, God, I- I'm not crazy. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's comforting.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to redefine even what success looks like in these
Right.
relationships, like success is journeying alongside.
Mhm.
God does not call us to step in and fix everything.
Right.
But to walk alongside in relationship and in support and encouragement and
Mhm.
prayers and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
it changes us.
It does.
Mhm.
I think that's applicable in every area of our lives. I mean, I
Mhm.
think of like with kids or in marriage or with family members that you go like the value of showing up,
Yeah.
right? Like not to say like, oh, here's a problem, which if Meredith is seeing this, she knows that I do that. Like, there's a problem, I gotta fix it.
If only she
Right
were
now.
here.
Ah!
We all go into fix it
Oh,
mode
yeah.
though,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
how can I alleviate the
Mhm.
suffering in my own life and alleviate the suffering of other
Mhm.
people?
Mhm.
When we're short-sighted, we want to take that away as quickly as possible. I think
That's right.
as we
Oof.
grow in experiencing suffering,
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable. None of us want it.
Mhm.
And yet
Mhm.
there's a refining
Yeah.
that happens in it. And so
Yeah.
to not rush in to take away someone's suffering when it's a
Right.
burden too heavy to carry, like to be a community. So I'm not saying like we shouldn't step in at all,
Right.
but to be not do that too quick, if
Mhm.
that makes sense, which is hard for me because I don't want to see people suffer, and that's hard.
Yeah.
But I've been so thankful for the wisdom that you've learned in all the years that you've been doing it. Because I'm like, Jamie, what do I do? And how do we step into this? And I mean, not that you always have the answers,
Right.
but I think that you are one who
Mhm.
pauses and listens. And yeah, like you hear from the Lord for how to lead us and what the next step can be. And that's just been really helpful. I know
Mhm.
there's so much about like when helping hurts. Like if we just rescue and we take away,
Mhm.
then sometimes we're getting in the way of the sanctification that God had.
For sure, right? It's like our temptations will either to not step in at all because
Mhm.
this is messy and it's going to take a lot of time and
Right.
effort and energy,
Mhm.
or to do too much to get
Yeah.
it over as quickly as
Yeah.
possible. But there's this like third way, right?
Mhm.
Of just walking alongside the Spirit and hearing from Him. And I think as we all go through things in our lives and recognize
Mhm.
what God does in the dark,
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we're
It's
quicker
like
to point to Him
Mhm.
and not try to fix everything.
That's right. I just think it's kind of like a double benefit, like spiritual benefit
Mm-hmm.
for both. Like you're reminded, hey, you can be Jesus for them. And for them, it's a reminder, hey, but Jesus has not left you alone. And there's no other, like you're cared for, but you don't have to like fix everything. And it's like
Right.
that beautiful tension where you go, seems like the Lord knows what he's doing, you know? But yeah, I love how you put it. I identify it and not shy away because it's difficult, but also know that I like dive all the way in to the point that it becomes detrimental even for you,
For sure.
right? And so like I think that's like a beautiful um balance. I heard a quote from a book that Mike, Josh, and I went through, and this pastor was talking something similar when it comes to helping and ministry, wanting to know it all and be everywhere and do all things because the need is great. And then he said this quote. He said, "I found myself that I didn't need to repent for not being able to be everywhere, know everything, fix everything, but I needed to repent because I tried."
Mm,
And I just went, oh,
don't we all?
oh,
Right.
oh, yeah. And so I go
Right.
like God will be God, but God does uses us. And so that's not an excuse to go, I can't do it. It's like, show up, right? Because it's valuable, and because, yeah, we're all going through it in different ways. And so you did mention something that you said, hey, well, there's a few spots here and volunteers. If there's more, if there are people that are listening to us and they're like, man, like, I want to be a part of this, how can they join this beautiful work of ministry at Redemption City?
Yeah, we've never really done an interest meeting. I just kind of take it one-on-one. So if anyone is interested, then they can find me on Slack, Katie Bertsch. And I basically just explain what it is, what a volunteer slot would look like, ask what their capacity is, see where it could fit in. Made a little video of how the machines work and where everything is, and just kind of a little tutorial there. So it's very simple. I try to do the first one with them, but more recently it's just looked like, hey, can you meet at church and I'll show you where things are, and then I'm available the whole time you're there. And we have set up kind of a security system as sorts, where when they come, they let me know they're here, they let me know when the neighbor has arrived. We do have cameras downstairs now, and so I kind of do check-ins that way, and then they let me know if there's any issues or when they're leaving and they're locking up. So we try to keep it very communicative and like they don't feel like they're alone here. But yeah, the on-ramp is very short. It's very easy. Just message me. We can chat about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the more volunteers we have, the more families we can serve. And so,
or even just the break, because it's a lot, and burnout happens. And
It does.
I would love to be able to give volunteers breaks. So it's not
For sure.
every week, it's every other, because we've got a big enough team, and be able to carry that all together.
That's beautiful. I love that that's happening in our church, and I love that it keeps growing. And yeah, I'm encouraged because there's a beauty in being a part of a church that walks the talk. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we want to help the city. We want to help our community. And then you see it happening. And then you see people showing up at church on Sunday morning, and they worship with us and they become part of our church. And you go, like, Lord, you're so good. And so,
Brother and sisters,
yeah,
unified under
it's
Christ.
so true.
I love
That's so
seeing that.
true.
Yeah. I mean, and even like, yeah, like, and it's not like, one thing that I love, and I'll just mention this, is how even through that ministry, you see other people plugging into other ministries of our church, that they begin to serve even within our church. Like, that's like mind blowing, right? That they come here and they're served, and then they come without any expectation, and they go, I want to be a part of this family,
For
and
sure.
I want to serve. And you go, okay,
Right.
let's do it.
Let's do
It's
it.
beautiful.
Yes, because most people come and they don't want to be on the receiving end of help
Yeah.
all the time.
Mhm.
They want to contribute, and they have beautiful things to contribute.
Yes, they do.
And so finding ways for us all to serve together, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh,
Yeah,
what a picture of like the kingdom. And
I love it.
yeah.
I love it. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for you guys' time in this conversation. I think it's a beautiful reminder as we started, right? Like, the Lord is at work, and like, we get to take an hour or so, I don't know how long this is, right?
David,
Of our
sure,
day,
keeping track.
of our day today, to just be reminded, right, of the work that the Lord is doing, and how He has not only like invited us to step into it, but empower us to step into it, and continues to sustain us. And I go like, Jesus, you're so good. And yeah, so my heart is full of gratitude, and I feel encouraged by you guys' service at our church, and your faithfulness. That I know that sometimes we don't, and this is not to say like we need more thinkers. No, 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 no. But like our faithfulness is seen by the Lord. And I think of 1 Corinthians 15, where Paul says, like, here's the gospel in the beginning, Jesus, what we've seen, what we receive. This is the gospel in which you're being saved. And then he closes, therefore be steadfast and immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, because it's not in vain. And you go, it's not in vain because he has like eternal fruit. And you go like, this is for the kingdom, not to grow Redemption City, not to speak. No, it's for the kingdom. God is redeeming a people for himself, and we get to be a part of that. So
Amen.
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 Well, thank you guys for being here with me, and thank you for joining in this episode. I hope that the conversation was fun, entertaining, helpful. If you do have any questions, I really encourage you to reach out to Katie or Jamie or even myself, and we can continue to talk more about this. If anything that we said here, you go, oh man, I want to share this with the friend because maybe they have questions about laundry love, or maybe they have connections, or maybe they,
Yeah.
what about their church? Maybe they want to do it at their church. Reach out. We would love to get this to many places, as many people as we can for the sake of the kingdom. And so just want to say thank you for joining us today. This has been another episode, and we are out.